Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this very special edition covering the attendance of President Abdel el-Sisi, the celebration held today for people with special needs or people of determination. And on this very important topic, we have with us over the phone Dr. Magdi Abdel, the head of Helm Association. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
Sir, this is the fourth year in a row to celebrate people with special needs. What's the significance of holding this very important celebration and the presence of or attendance of President Abdel el-Sisi?
Of course, this celebration marks a very important day for people with disabilities because it showcases what people with disabilities can do and what they've achieved over the past years and how far they can reach and what are their skills rather than focusing on what their disability is about. And the significance of President Abdel el-Sisi being there shows how he focuses on the importance of integrating people with disabilities in the Egyptian society, and that it's an important topic for him. And lately, he's been taking a lot of good steps in integrating people and including them into the society, people with disabilities. And this is shown through the new law and many other things, many other steps that were taken within the country.
Right. Well, sir, the event is held under the slogan, "We have a place." What does this title represent?
We have a place. The idea is that every person with a disability, regardless of what their disability is, they have a place in the country, and they have a role that they play within the country. Each person with disability has a certain skill or a certain talent that they can provide to the country, whether the person is visually impaired or physically impaired or has an intellectual disability or a hearing impairment. Regardless of what kind of disability, they have a role to play, and this is showcased through today's event.
Right. Well, President Abdel el-Sisi delivered a speech during the event. What were the most important messages that came through the president's speech, in your opinion?
That we need to accept differences of people with disabilities, and that people with disabilities is an added value for the country, and that they might have a certain flaw or a certain difficulty in doing a certain task, but this doesn't mean that the person himself doesn't have skills that compensate that disability, and we need to focus on the person's ability rather than the person's disability.
Right. Well, also addressing the ceremony, Minister of Youth and Sports Ashraf Sobhi said the state attaches top priority to the people of determination, and that the ministry adopted around 50 projects directed to them and people of determination and special needs, and the state is offering them improved services at different sports and youth facilities. Would you please tell us more about those activities that were directed to people of special needs and their significance?
Of course, Dr. Ashraf Sobhi was mentioned about people with disabilities and the role of the Ministry of Sports in helping people with disabilities showcase their talents through sports and through different activities, different community activities, and the idea that Egypt has many activities tailored especially for people with disabilities, like wheelchair tennis, like swimming for the Paralympics, and many other different sports. The idea is that regardless of the disability or the type of disability, the person can fit within the community and can achieve a lot through the community and through sports in general.
Right. Well, also, Minister of Social Solidarity Nivina Kobbaj asserted that Egypt made great progress in protecting the rights of people with disabilities. Well, what are the main rights that they gained, and tell me more about the challenges that they are still facing.
Dr. Kobbaj, basically, one of the main things that now is very prominent is that now if you have a certain complaint about something that you feel discriminated because of your disability or because of something that you feel is not correct with including you or integrating you within the society, you can basically go to the Ministry of Solidarity and talk to them about your problem, and they'll find solutions. And also there is a card that is part of the Ministry of Solidarity. This card gives people with disabilities specific rights in certain places, in certain commodities that they can have, like for example a car that's without the taxation, and many other benefits that the Ministry of Solidarity provides. Of course, they are taking very good steps in including people with disabilities and their rights in Egypt. So this is a great step. Looking for more steps in the future with the ministry.
Well, sir, the national project Decent Life plays a significant role in supporting people with special needs. Would you tell me more about the special needs project?
الله يخليك، ازيك انت؟
بما فيهم قرى حياه كريمه، واللي على الجنبين دول حرف تقليديه، دول للصم، ودايما بيشتغلوا مع اهليهم كاسر منتجه، بيقدروا ينتجوا ويعملوا لهم حاجات يعملوها من البيت او من ورش بسيطه خاصه لاعاقه الذهن.
هات المصحف.
مثلا بس عمره انا حماتي عمره
هو عايز يطلع العمره.
يطلع عمره.
اما سير بس اما نخش قلبي.
As you can see on the screen, the president is now making a tour at the Al Manara Center, Conference Center, for the differently abled initiative. And the support is being given to the people of determination and people with special needs. The event is held today under the slogan, "We have a place." The ceremony is being held at Al Manara Center Conference in New Cairo. As you can see, the president is touring the different pavilions being held at the center, at the conference center. With the attendance of guests from different countries, from Arab countries. The president is meeting with different disabled people and people of determination and special needs, and he's holding different discussions with the people attending and the people of special needs. As we can see on the screen, the different pavilions At Al Manara Center, we can see also different people attending from Arab countries. And the president is still holding discussions and talking with the attendants.
متوزع على إنشاء 58 مركز أو 60 مركز خلال 3 سنوات، ولله الحمد نحن انشأناها في سنة و4 شهور في 27 محافظة. فكانت هناك تكلفة مالية من هذه الجلسات العلاجية من التخاطب والتخاطب وتنمية القدرات والتكامل الحسي صارت بالمجان بفضل اليوم الدعم اللي قدمتوه لهذه الفئة.
The event is also being held by Minister of Social Solidarity and Minister of Youth and Sports.
شكرا جدا. الصورة دي جميلة جدا.
And the president is still inspecting the different pavilions at the conference center.
الرسومات الجميلة قوي. شكرا لحضرتك. شكرا جميلا. شكرا لحضرتك.
We can see also the president inspecting the portraits being displayed on the screen.
كتير كده.
And he is holding discussions with people with special needs. They're explaining their portraits.
لازم المتكلمين يبقوا فاهمين ويبقوا عارفين حقوق الصم زي بعض، يبقى في مساواة. بالظبط.
انتوا توجه لهم رسالة وهم هيسمعوا ودي هترجموا.
اوكي. هو بيقول نفسه المجتمع كل المتكلمين والصم يبقوا مستوى واحد، يبقوا في مساواة. هم بيقروا شفايف حلوة قوي وكمان هم، لكن هم بيفتكروا عشان مش بيسمعوا ان هم مش بيفهموا. لا، هم بيقروا، هم بيعرفوا يشتغلوا حلو قوي. هو نفسه الصم يبقوا زي المتكلمين في كل الفرص المتاحة ليهم ونفسهم.
أنا فخور بيكم جدا. بحبكم جدا وأنا متشرف بيكم جدا. صحيح. والرسالة بتاعتك دي احنا هنقولها كتير في الإعلام، هنقولها كتير عشان الناس تسمع.
هو مبسوط قوي انه بيتكلم مع حضرتك. بنحبك جدا.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and that was the celebration for the launch of the Differently Abled initiative for supporting people of determination and people with special needs that was held under the slogan, "We have a place." And back with our guest over the phone, Dr. Magdi, are you still with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Well, sir, your comment and how did you see the event that took place today under the slogan, "We have a place"?
I thought the event very, very, very beneficial for people with disabilities, and it shows that people with disabilities do actually have a place within the country. With all the different types of disabilities, the country is trying its best to accommodate each disability, whether it's visually impaired, people who are physically impaired, intellectually impaired, or any other type of disability. So I'm very pleased with how the country is moving forward with including people with disabilities into the society, and looking forward for a lot more in the near future.
Well, sir, the national project Decent Life plays a significant role in supporting people with special needs and people of determination. Would you tell us more about this project?
This project focuses on giving people with disabilities the basic rights they need for them to be included into the society. This was shown through the new law that was given out in 2018 with the Year of Disability that gave people with disabilities the rights to work and the rights to be fully included within the community, which is something that was not done in the past. So this was a huge step for including people with disabilities. And also the Ministry of Social Solidarity gave out a card that gives people with disabilities different rights, including rights to own certain commodities, including a car, without having taxes being paid or things like that. And if there are complaints, they can go to the Ministry of Solidarity and they'll sort it out as best as they can. So big good steps are being taken through this project. So I'm very happy with the steps and looking forward for a lot more in the near future.
Well, sir, also the Ministry of Education adopted measures to include students with special needs in the society as active citizens able to achieve a lot. Would you tell us more about the activities adopted by the Ministry of Education in this regard?
The Ministry of Education actually was implemented a lot of the new law for people with disabilities that was adopted. One of the main points that was tackled within the Ministry of Education was that every class should have a percentage of people with disabilities within the class, and I see this as a huge step forward in allowing students with disabilities from a young age to be present, to be around, to be in class, to be in the streets, to be in the community in general, so that when people without disabilities look at them, they don't see them as aliens or people that are strange. They see them as people who are part of the society and people who do have a role to play in the society. And this will make Egypt progress very much in the near future.
Right. Well, in your opinion, what are the most important challenges still facing people with disability or people of determination?
Of course, we still have the problems with infrastructure. The country is not yet fully equipped to accommodate people with disabilities, and we see that through the streets, through the transportation services, through many other means. But Egypt is on the right path towards fully including people with disabilities and having a fully inclusive society. So good steps are being taken. If you would like me to talk about ways that we could make the country more accessible, quickly, some key points would be to have more ramps available, try to make the pavements and the streets more accessible, not rocky, so that a wheelchair can easily access the streets. If we're going to talk about transportation, that the transportation services have a space for a wheelchair user, for example, and that there is like a ramp that you can go into the transportation service without needing to worry about a certain step that the wheelchair has to go through, and so forth.
Well, if we prioritize their needs, in your opinion, what are their expectations? What's the expectations of people of determination?
People with determination currently we're on the right path, but they're expecting a lot more from the country to be done. For example, the card that the Ministry of Social Solidarity does for the rights of people with disabilities, that this card is given to more and more people with disabilities in the near future. And another point is that we actually include more students with disabilities within the schools, within the universities, within social events, so that people with disabilities are more present, are more around so that when you see them, that they're not strange and they're not alienated. If we're going to talk about the pavements, as I said, we would like to see more ramps, more elevators available. If we're going to talk about workplaces, we need to see more equipment that facilitates people with disabilities in their workplace and in their life as a whole.
Well, if we talk about non-governmental organizations and the role, how do you see the role and how did they assert their importance with regards to people with special needs?
There are many organizations currently working towards fully including people with disabilities, and me as the ambassador to Helm Foundation, we focus a lot on having a fully inclusive society for people with disabilities through making workplaces accessible, through making general public spaces accessible through the application Intolic that makes people with disabilities know the places that are accessible to them based on their disability. And we also have programs that make institutions know the different disabilities that are available. For example, the physically impaired, the visually impairments, and all the different types of disabilities, and how do you deal with all the different types of disabilities. And finally, what is the added value for a company or an institution to have a person with disability inside the workplace? All of this is discussed within the institution or the foundation that I'm proud to be an ambassador of. So a lot of steps are being taken, and looking forward for a lot more steps in the near future.
Right. Well, we started to see stars among the people of determination. We've seen the first TV anchor, Rahma Hussein, and Hiba Atif, first attendant. What other fields people with special needs were able to achieve success in?
We have a lot of examples of people with disabilities who achieved a lot. As mentioned, the examples that you mentioned, and we also have more examples like Mohammed Sobhi, who's a wheelchair tennis champion. We have Amr Suhagi, who's a swimming champion, among other champions. And this is basically just a few examples of how much a person with disability can achieve if they are given the right environment and just the chance to achieve a lot. And if we give, in general, people with disabilities the chance to achieve and to grow and to prosper in the country, given that they're from 15 to 17 million, I see the country improving to a big extent.
Well, how do you evaluate the significance of holding this event today and the attendance of President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi and the launch of the Differently Abled initiative?
I see this as a huge good step in talking and in shedding light on the rights of people with disabilities, and that they are an actual force in the country, and they are a relatively big number of people, and we're taking good concrete steps in including them in the society. Of course, as I mentioned, there's a lot more to be done, but we're taking a lot of good steps, and that President Abdel Fattah el-Sisi is actually focusing on such initiatives of including people with disabilities in the Egyptian society. This is a huge step, and excited for more steps to come.
Well, also the president called for TV productions to be inclusive and to include the lives of Egyptians with special needs. How far do you think, or how do you see the significance of the TV and the cinema in portraying the lives of those with special needs or people of determination?
Of course, there's a lot in the TV and cinema sector that people with disabilities can offer. Many of them could be good in acting and could be good in TV and so on. They might lack certain skill, a certain ability in their body or in their physical well-being or mental well-being, but that doesn't mean that they cannot perform and act on stage and be very well in cinema if they are given the right tools and the right assistance in achieving such goals. So I actually do see this area in specific to be very, very, very fruitful for including people with disabilities, and the future actually looks very bright in that respect.
Well, I would like to thank you very much, Dr. Magdi Abdel, Ambassador of DREAM Initiative. Many thanks for your insight. And dear viewers, that brings us to the end of this very special coverage. Many thanks for watching. This is Naveen Ramzi signing off.